Let's dial in Michelle Malkin. She joins us every Thursday at this time from Colorado Springs. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hey, I know you have weighed in on your blog and whatnot about this phony war on women that the Democrats are saying that the Republicans are waging. And yet when you look at what a strategist for the DNC, a woman by the name of Hillary Rosen, said last night, it looks like she's got a war on working moms. She was taking a shot at Ann Romney. We're going to play the clip. Listen to her tell folks that Ann Romney, as a stay-at-home mom, has never worked a day in her life. Yeah, right.
What you have is Mitt Romney running around the country saying, well, you know, my wife tells me that what women really care about are economic issues. And when I listen to my wife, that's what I'm hearing. Guess what? His wife has actually never worked a day in her life.
Okay. Your reaction, Michelle?
A mother of 5 sons. Anybody with a son knows that it's a full-time job. You've got your hands full when you've got that much testosterone in the house. For goodness sake, this is not a coincidence, by the way, and it needs to be pointed out, and we pointed it out when this thing exploded on Twitter last night when Ann Romney joined Twitter to push back at this frontal assault, that Hillary Rosen, who is a career D.C. lobbyist, and a woman of great elite privilege in the D.C. community, is somebody who works alongside Anita Dunn, who just happens to be the former Obama communications hit woman. And this idea that somehow stay-at-home moms and conservative moms deserve this kind of vitriol is part of the strategy of the Democrats to try and make...
Michelle, I think it actually is bad strategy because they started winning the female vote, and now they're insulting housewives across the country.
Of course it is, but these leftist women cannot help themselves. And as I pointed out, both at twitchy.com and at michellemalkin.com, this is a page from an old playbook. Hillary Clinton did it when she went after stay-at-home moms who bake cookies and have tea. This happened in 2004 when Teresa Heinz Kerry disparaged Laura Bush and said that she had never had a quote-unquote real job in her life, although Laura Bush had worked both as a teacher and a librarian. And now you have Hillary Rosen echoing Hillary Clinton. These people don't just have contempt for conservative stay-at-home moms, they have contempt for all conservative moms. And yes, it's going to backfire.
Yeah, but
thanks for doing us all a favor, Hillary.
But by the way, there are some stay-at-home moms who might vote Democrat, too. I mean, that's what's being missed in this entire discussion. I mean, they might be voting for Barack Obama, but maybe not after that kind of comment. I just don't know do you think that Hillary Rosen got some sort of marching orders from the administration? Because they came out firing pretty heavily right after. Jim Messina and David Axelrod, really strident Twitters saying this was a total mistake. We should not be getting into this battle at all.
Yeah, and we have that all documented. I think that what these people have not expected, the White House and the Obama administration, is that the right and conservative activists on the line would push back the way they did. Thank goodness we have social media alternatives now, like Twitter, to give voice to the women who don't make it into the front pages of the liberal media every day.
And speaking of Twitter, and you mentioned a moment ago, Ann Romney, with her debut Twitter response, said this of Hillary Rosen's comments: "I made a choice to stay home and raise 5 boys. Believe me, it was hard work." All right, let's talk a little bit more about...
we should just add this, that Bill Hemmer and Martha McCallum will have her on next hour.
That's right. Ann Romney will be there with them. You mentioned Anita Dunn. Interestingly enough, it was in that Ron Suskind book where Anita Dunn said, you know, having worked in the White House, it meets the legal standard for a hostile work environment. And then you look at this, and this supports the idea that maybe there's a war on women from the White House, where if you are a woman at the White House, you are making, on average, 18% less than your male counterpart on an average basis.
Yeah, that was reported by the Washington Free Beacon, and it's not a surprise that this comes from the do as we say, not as we do White House that passed the so-called Lilly Ledbetter Act to mandate equal pay for everybody else. But apparently somehow the White House got a waiver for that, like they get waivers for everything else.
Funny.
Let's change gears for a moment because there's more stuff coming out now about the General Services Administration, the GSA, the waste, and it keeps getting worse, Michelle. Now there's a new report out by the Daily here saying that one of their top executives went on a 10-day boondoggle to Hawaii and only did about an hour's worth of work at a ribbon-cutting ceremony. What are we to make of this additional information?
Unless you call snorkeling work,
Well,
then it would be double.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unless you're Lloyd
right.
Bridges, no.
Well, last week the joke, of course, was that you can't spell Las Vegas without GSA. And this week we're learning that, of course, that was the tip of the iceberg. And this all came out in the Inspector General's investigation. And it was one of the top officials who spilled the beans on this, that one of the administrators who, and some of the people who have been recently fired, were involved in this junket to Hawaii. And I think it was a 5 or 10 day trip for a 1-hour groundbreaking ceremony. I think that there's a larger question that needs to be asked about the entire enterprise of the GSA, because I'm hearing from a lot of people who have had to deal with this administration that the junkets really are just a proxy for all of the waste and cronyism that goes on with the contracting at GSA, which costs billions of dollars as opposed to the millions that are involved
You
here.
have to wonder about other agencies, not just this one. I mean, I stole a line
endemic.
from your. Didn't you have a book, Culture of Corruption?
I sure did.
Yeah, I stole that line yesterday because you have to wonder if this is just part of the culture using taxpayer dollars, and only now are we paying attention to it because we have this humongous deficit.
And a smoking clown.
There you go. We do. All right, Michelle Malkin, we thank you very much for weighing in. Check out her website, michellemalkin.com. And the other one is twitchy.com?
You got it.
Right, we had a big feature on me to kick off, correct?
That's right.
That's right.
Take care, guys.
I got to charge you for that.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right.